It looks like we're going to have Armon Watts here. This is going to work out just perfect. So we'll put a stop. We'll put a stop to our 5-3-4, and we'll welcome our first guest out here at the new Winter Park, the TCO Performance Center on Common Camp. It's our fourth show of 7. Armon Watts. And Armon, thanks for being with us. We do appreciate it.
No problem. Appreciate you having me.
Yeah, good to see you here. They just released the depth chart today. Congratulations. You've been named a starter in the interior line of the defense. Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, does that come as a surprise to you, or did you feel confident that so far you were drafted? I think you were drafted in 2019, sixth-round pick.
Mm-hmm.
So again, that's a little lower than a lot of guys are. But you go from that. Now you're a starter. Surprised you, or did you feel like you played well enough you'd get the spot?
It didn't come to a surprise. Leading into this season, I would say last year, if you would have caught me off guard like that, having to start 9 games with Mike being out and stuff like that, it caught me as a surprise. But I knew at the end of the day I had to make the best of the opportunity, and everything took off play after play after play, and I had a lot of confidence coming into this season. I knew it wasn't just going to be given to me, of course, but I definitely worked to get where I'm at. So,
how much different? There've been a lot of discussions. We're going from a 4-3, a Mike Zimmer type defense, to this 3-4 under Ed Donatel. How does that change what you do? Does it change a lot? None at all? Some?
I wouldn't say it changes tremendously. Last year we kind of sprinkled in a little bit of 3-4. So, as you can recall, I kind of played up and down the whole line last year: nose, 3-tech, 4-eye. So. I think this defense is going to put me in a great position to do what I'm best at, and I'm excited about it.
Yeah, and what do you think you do best at?
Everybody has a niche, and I think the coaching staff knows my niche is a pass rusher interior D lineman. So, when I got guys like Zadarius and Daniil next to me, I think it's only going to help me out.
Yeah, it should, because again, it's that you move guys around, they're going to be standing up. It sounds like a lot, and so ideally you're going to have an offense that you're facing is going to say, we got several guys, we got a block here. Who are we going to pick? And that should free each of you up at different times during a game.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of people forget 5 sacks is not easy to come by as an interior lineman, and I've always been an underdog since I've been in the league and even in college sometimes. So, like I said, I'm going to just go out there and do what I'm good at.
Yeah, and it's a lot of fun, too. And what's it like, what's been the adjustment like for Zadarius and Daniil? Have you talked to him about that? Because obviously it's a little different than, especially Daniil was a hand in the grass kind of a guy. Now he's kind of standing up on the edge.
I think he's having a lot of fun with it, him and Zadarius. I think our coaching staff does a good job of giving them a little bit of freedom, whether they want to go up and down the line, and that helps me out also. So whenever we have 2 guys like that where they can collapse the pocket and then I'm getting interior pressure, it'll bring more sacks to me.
You mentioned feeling like an underdog, and obviously drafted in the 6th round, and maybe not knowing where you're going to go in the draft, you can have that feeling. Have you always had like an underdog feeling throughout your life, or were you one of those guys where you're always the biggest, strongest in whatever sport you played?
No, not necessarily. I think it's always been kind of like that. I was only like a 2 or 3 star coming out of high school. Didn't have a bunch of offers. Went to Arkansas. Didn't play till like that 5th year. Had to work my way up here. You know what I'm saying? I didn't start playing my rookie year. I still kind of embrace it because, even though I had 5 sacks last year, not a lot of people would know it. So I feel like that's been kind of swept under the rug, and, I'm eager to go out there and prove that it just wasn't a one-hit wonder.
Did you play any other sports growing up? Did you have any other passions?
Yeah, I played basketball all the way up into high school, so I did that my whole life.
Power forward?
4 and 5. Power forward.
4 and 5, right, yeah. Yeah, let me guess. They counted on you to rebound a lot, right?
Yeah, I was supposed to be, I guess you could say, their enforcer.
Okay. I can see that. I understand. Yeah. I understand. You'd mentioned, you said, maybe not a lot of people notice your 5 sacks. I got to admit, I watch every game. If they would ask me how many sacks you had, I wouldn't have known.
Yeah.
Is that like almost a chip on your shoulder a little bit, being an underdog, or do you just go, nah, it's no big deal, you don't notice, you will eventually?
I think for me, it definitely is some type of chip on my shoulder. I wouldn't say it weighs on me heavy, but, just being able to do that in the National Football League, we've got guys that's never been able to get 5 sacks. So, you know what I'm saying? So, I guess you can say it's some chip on the shoulder to go out there and be able to do that again and even more. I'm excited. Like I say, I've always embraced the underdog role, being swept under the rug. So.
How do you feel about the defense as a whole in general? The last 2 years, obviously, on your side of the ball did not go as well as you guys would have liked. Do you feel like things are going to be changing throughout the entire defense, other than just the system?
Yeah, I'm excited. I think KO's done a great job of getting our bodies ready for the season. I know we've had a lot of injuries up and down, and I feel like, since my rookie year, this is where a lot of us have been healthy. And I think he's going to do a good job of keeping it that way. Like D's back, EK's healthy. I like what I see in Hicks. He's a great linebacker. So I feel like we finally got all those pieces together. And, we can be healthy like that. We can be pretty good.
Our guest is interior Vikings defensive lineman.
It's actually defensive end now.
Defensive end.
New 3-4.
Defensive end 3-4. Defensive end Armon Watts, who has been named a starter on the depth chart here today. When you face different guys across the league, are there a handful of names that you go, these guys are really a handful? Are there some guys that, the better offensive linemen that you face, or are they all pretty? I mean, I know they're all pretty good, but there are some guys that stand out above others?
Of course, we got those all-pro guys, Pro Bowl guys like that. But one thing about me, I don't try to give one guy too much praise or a guy not enough praise.
Yeah.
I kind of just approach it the same. I got to do what I know how to do good against them, and that's how I look at it.
Yeah.
Who do you face most in practice for the Vikings offensive line?
Ezra a lot.
Ezra.
The new guy, Jesse, he's pretty good. Bradbury. So, I've been here with Bradbury all 4 years, so I've got a lot of work against him. Of course, Ezra and me playing 3 tech. But I would say those two guys probably the most.
How do you feel like Ezra has developed? Because he's, kind of probably around your age as well, right?
He's good. We were just having a conversation with somebody, and I think he has one of the better techniques at guard. He uses his strengths well. Even though he's not the biggest guy, you really couldn't tell by the way he plays. And I'm excited to see what he can do to help us this year.
It seems like maybe this is just us watching the old Johnny Randall on NFL films where he would talk smack a lot and chirp. It seems like offensive line, defensive line, you could probably get a lot of that given how physical the nature is of that game. Are you chirping the offensive line, or are you pretty quiet?
It depends. Everybody have their moments. You can ask anybody around the building. I'm pretty much a quiet guy, humble guy, but, it's always getting those moves where, hey, if you push that button, then I'm going to push it back,
Yeah. Well, that's what somebody said when they said you're going to be our guest. He goes, he kind of keeps to himself a little bit, but you can probably draw something on him. But I think you did. Yeah, you got plenty to say. And it sounds like you got a quiet confidence. And well, good luck. I mean, again, thanks for coming over and have a great season. And we look forward to seeing you on the field.
No problem.
Thanks, Armon.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Congrats on being first team.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So that's Armon Watts. He's now defensive end. Tenby, thanks for correcting me.
defensive
Not
end, Armon
interior
Watts.
guy. He's defensive end
Thank
in
you,
this
Armon.
new
Appreciate it.
3-4 defense. So thank you. Yeah, good luck to you. Yeah, you bet.